Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rajvyati karunya sudhabhivrishya Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Naivendriyani vishayeshu niyunkta Naivapayunta upadarshana lakshanasthaha Naiva kriya phalamapi shadavekshate sa Swananda sandra rasapana sumatta chittaha Naiva kriya phalamapi shadavekshate sa Swananda sandra rasapana sumatta chittaha. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, we are continuing with the discussions on Poojya Swamiji's divine talks, which are called Prabhata Rashmih, the morning rays. These talks he gives after we all do pranam at his holy feet in the mornings, offering flowers at his holy feet. So, that offering of flower is called Pushpa Samarpanam early in the morning. And after that, Swamiji speaks, closing his eyes for some time, and these talks are called Prabhata Rashmih. So I'm reading from a collection of such Prabhata Rashmih, Volume 1. And I have been doing this one, Disciplines to Divinize Every Moment. Any spiritual seeker who wants to spiritualize or divinize the life must have some disciplines in life. And what is divinizing the life? We generally divinize 1 or 2 hours of our day when we worship, when we meditate, when we read sacred books. And rest of the time, our thoughts, our actions, interactions, we feel are worldly. But because of that, in our life, we undergo a lot of suffering. This whole world is always coming to us with many situations, favorable and unfavorable, and we do not find the divine hand or the divine design in it. When it is favorable, we are happy. When it is unfavorable, we are not. We will be satisfied, fulfilled, and contented. We will feel the sublimity when we can see divinity in everything, feel the presence of God in everything, everywhere, at every moment. Feel the presence of Brahman, the one supreme presence, the consciousness inside us, outside us, and all around us. And the same presence in everything that we perceive through our senses. We see various forms and names, various articles and objects, living beings, non-living beings, mobile objects, immobile objects. Actually, in essence, everything is smeared with divinity. Everything has emerged from divine, the Supreme, and every activity is activated by that supreme power. So, if we want to feel that divinity, which we feel while we worship and think focusedly about God, about the self, and at that time our mind becomes calm, our mind becomes happy. If we have to feel that always, then every moment has to be divinized. And we have been reading and discussing. Already we have done 2 chapters, and this is the 3rd one. Actually, in this first volume, it is the Prabhata Rashmih 9, 3rd July 1997, where Swamiji has spoken about disciplines to divinize every moment. And he says that every action, whether it is mental, whether it is intelligential or bodily action, everything has to be purified. So, he said that the more you spiritualize your behavior and you are attentive to disciplining every facet of your life and activities, the more sublimity you will feel. We do not find divinity in everything. That is why we do not find purity and sublimity also at other moments than our devotional and spiritual disciplines or routines. In those moments which we fix, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, how long can we worship or how long can we meditate? Only during those hours we feel that we are pure, we are sublime, and as if we are very near to God. But at other times we do not. So Swamiji is saying the more you spiritualize your behavior and you are attentive to disciplining every facet of your life and activities, the more sublimity you will feel. All of you practice dhyana. Then he said that we practice dhyana and we get self-absorbed. Many times people may even attain samadhi and very much connected to the self within. But what about the times just before you went into dhyana or after you are getting up from dhyana? What do you do at that time? Those moments also should be so much sublime and pure. But very often it does not happen. We worship, we meditate, but when we get up or just before we have sat for our worship or sat for meditation, we feel agitated, disturbed, thinking of many other things except God. So, Swamiji says, to bring about purity, dhyana is an inward focusing of the mind to understand the defects and deficiencies of our system and thereby to bring about purity. When you sit closing your eyes, looking into the mind, you will come to know the thought pattern in you. We are so active or activity oriented so much that even if you sit for some time, we will be constantly thinking of the activities and the chores which are awaiting us. So the mind is restless, mind is not calm. But when we sit for meditation and when we sit quietly at a place, then what happens? We start understanding when we start looking within. Otherwise, we are also not aware of the thought pattern which is constantly going on in our mind. But if we sit for a while, look into ourselves quietly, we start sitting, we'll find the thought pattern, we'll be able to understand what is happening, what kind of thoughts are going on in the mind. Are those thoughts conducive to our spiritual growth, or are those thoughts not conducive? See, any thought which disturbs the mind, it may be impatient thoughts, intolerant thoughts, hateful thoughts, disliking thoughts. It may be some kind of grumbling. It may be some kind of criticism of somebody or some situation, fault finding with others, blaming others. All these things disturb the mind, or fearful thoughts, anxiety. These are all disturbing the mind. So when we start looking into ourselves, the thought pattern is understood, and that gives us an opportunity if we want to really progress in our spiritual path. We start thinking, oh, how to remove these? These are disturbing me so much. Unnecessarily they are coming, although I do not want them. So what is to be done? That is why it is said that when you sit for meditation, very often it happens when we sit for meditation, the whole day we are active. So whole days of activity oriented and activity related talks, interactions all come to the mind. So the mind will be having zigzag thoughts. So what people do, they get up after some time saying that, oh, today I am not able to do meditation at all. I am only being disturbed by thoughts. One should not get up. One should not do that. Even though thoughts are disturbing, when we sit for meditation, we should keep on sitting. Let the thoughts come and go. Don't get affected by them. The very feeling that, oh, they are disturbing me, actually disturbs us and makes us all the more restless and impatient and makes us get up from the seat. What we should do is, we'll sit, let it come, let the thoughts come, let the thoughts go. And if we do so, the thoughts, they find that they are not able to disturb us. Then slowly they start calming down. It is called asana jaya. That is, you win over and you become victorious in sitting on your asana or the seat where you are sitting for meditation. So, we should do this. Hidden tendencies will come in front. The thoughts will come and stand before you like your own reflection in a mirror. Just like if we go in front of a mirror, we see our face clearly. And if the mirror is very well polished, then everything becomes very, very clear. Any spot, anywhere, everything, even a very small spot also will be visible if the mirror is very polished. Similarly, when we sit for meditation, our own mind, what is happening there, what all thought processes, it starts coming in front of us. And if you do not like them, if they are not favorable, then the very discovery of their nature will begin the process of eliminating or sublimating them. So when we understand, as I was just now saying, that we feel that, oh, why these thoughts are coming so much? I don't want them. They're just disturbing me and making me unhappy or fearful. I don't want. So the very discovery of these traits or the tendencies will start making us feel how to get rid of them. I had once, when long back, in the presence of Baba, Swamiji's Gurudev, I asked him, I was very young then, I asked that, Baba, sometimes the mind becomes very fearful and it gets very anxious, and sometimes it is gripped with some dislike for something. How to get rid of them? I don't like these traits in me at all. So Baba had said, tell them in a very friendly manner that you have come to my mind often. Now I don't want you anymore. So please leave me. Say it not with anger, but in a friendly manner. And continue doing it. Plead upon them that please don't disturb me anymore. I don't want these traits. Let good traits come into me. I think it had been very helpful. Baba was very unlike Swamiji. Baba was not talking much. Swamiji talks, he gives lectures, he's very fond of talking to people and explaining things. But Baba was a man of few words. So these few words, like many other few words which when we had asked or even without asking, he had guided us, have remained etched in the mind. So, when we discover the nature, the process of eliminating and sublimating them start. But for that, one has to be earnest and straightforward in this regard. One has to become earnest and straightforward. That is the basic yearning should be there, that I want to progress. I do not want to have undesirable tendencies in me, traits in me, which disturb the mind and keep it restless. I want to become calm. My mind wants to become like a very calm entity, so that the self is revealed in that. So earnestness and straightforwardness is very much required. Straightforward by, that is, when we understand the defects and shortcomings in oneself, we should be admitting them and then try to remove them. Suppose oneself is not able to understand one's defect, and another person points it out, says that, see, you are always very hasty in everything. We must take the comments with gratefulness. Look into us. If it is true or not true, we should see, introspect, and remove this hastiness from our system. So we should be grateful whenever somebody points out anything in us, any shortcoming or any defect. As you progress in your sadhana, the disciplines become more and more inward and subtle, until at last the mind becomes one with purity. So as we progress in the sadhana, how do we progress? The first thing is that we must will and wish for it. That is, yearning should be there. When yearning is there, you will find many kinds of help will come. Many things will become clear to us. What has to be removed, what has to be strengthened, how the mind should be refined more and more, purified more and more. So when we take to that sadhana of purifying oneself, ultimately at one time the mind becomes pure. It becomes one with purity. That is the Vishuddha Sattva state. Vishuddha Sattvasya Gunaha Prasadaha. That is one who has full purity. That person has placidity of the mind, prasadaha. Mind becomes placid, still, calm. So when the ego is dissolved, and that happens when the ego is dissolved, why the mind remains so much turbulent and tormented? Because of this I-ness. I and mine. We always differentiate and we feel I am different. I am this, I am that, I can do this, I cannot do this, I am a failure, I have succeeded, I am rich, I am healthy, I am lot more efficient and intelligent than the other person. The one, I am not respected although I am respectable. So this I-ness constantly disturbs us. So this feeling of ego, the I-ness in us and the mindness, like whatever we feel belong to us, anything happening to them, we are disturbed. So these are the two causes of our disturbance of the mind, and which come because of the desires. I-ness, mindness, they will produce desire. desire that everything that belongs to me should be all right, or desire that I should be all right. Whatever I have acquired, I possessed, everything should be okay. So, this I-ness and mine-ness and kartri-bhoktri bhava, that is the doership and enjoyership, these desire, possessiveness, ego, all these are offshoot of this I-ness and mine-ness. So once these drop, then purity is attained. How they will drop? There are many things actually. In this, we are reading this, so I am telling you only this. And Swamiji says that when the ego is dissolved, when the kartri-bhoktri bhava, the doership and enjoyership is lost, everything proceeding from the mind will become pure. There will be no differentiation. Differentiation comes when I as an entity, I am separate from everything else. When all becomes the same self, then it is the highest of pinnacle of purity. There is who will enjoy whom, who will do what. Everything is the same self, the same presence. When we start seeing the same supreme presence underneath all kind of varieties. Then Swamiji has quoted one shloka from Aparokshanubhuti. This is also a composition by Shankaracharya. Aparokshanubhuti, this is shloka number 51. It says, Suvarna jayamanasya suvarnatvam cha shashvatam brahmano jayamanasya brahmatvam cha tatha bhavet. Suvarna jayamanasya suvarnatvam cha shashvatam brahmano jayamanasya brahmatvam cha tatha bhavet. What does it mean? It means that as anything made of gold has the nature of gold alone, so also anything proceeding from Brahman must be of the nature of Brahman alone. So this is an example. Say, we have jewelry made of gold. One may be in the shape of a bangle, one may be shape of a necklace, one may be a chain, one may be earrings, one may be a ring. So many kinds may be there. But when we look at them, what will immediately we will feel? These are made of gold. They are of various forms, but we immediately strike the note that these are gold. Then we say this is a ring, this is a... Similarly, if suppose there are few items made of, some may be of gold, some may be of copper, some may be of earth, all kept just next to each other, looking at the group, we'll feel that these are made of gold, these are made of earth, these are made of glass, or these are made of copper. So the basic thing is the basic element with which it has been made. So, Suvarna Jayamanasya Suvarnatvam cha Shashvatam. In whatever is made of gold, the Suvarnatvam, the goldness, is what is Shashvatam. That is the truth in that. That is the eternal factor in that. Similarly, Brahmano Jayamanasya, whatever has emerged from Brahman, Brahmatvam cha tatha bhavet, then that will have the nature of whatever has been emerged from Brahman. This whole universe, we say that it has emerged from the universal self, the Brahman, or God, whatever you call it. It is an extension of everything. So, everything that has emerged from that supreme, which we call Brahman, we can call God, we can say Paramatma, the nature of everything, essence of everything will be only Brahman or godly. So this shloka is saying this. Why Swamiji is quoting this? He says that when the mind is one with purity, then everything which proceeds from the mind is pure. Because it is, in essence, it has become pure. The purity is the essence, the element, and from that purity, everything proceeds. The thoughts will be pure. Whatever, through the senses, whatever you see will be pure. The ultimate discipline of the seer is to see everything as rooted in Brahman. So, where were we? Swamiji said that we have to spiritualize our behavior. Our behavior, our mind, intelligence, and bodily behavior, everything has to be spiritualized. Then he comes to this, how we can do it. The ultimate discipline of the seer is to see everything as rooted in Brahman. His buddhi constantly dwells on the fundamental oneness underlying all plurality. That is, we should see everything as rooted in Brahman. As I was just now explaining, that we will be seeing variety of things. The universe is full of varieties, names and forms. But we may look at it and see the variety. But the intelligence should dwell on the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that there is only oneness, one Brahman underlying all these varieties. Just like, say, we have got so many electrical items. A fan is running, the lights are there, I'm using a mic. The camera is there, which is also all connected to electricity. So the one basic electricity is everywhere, running through it and making all of these work. But they are of different forms and different nature. They are having their different roles, different activities. But what is the basic thing which is making them work? The electricity. Similarly, this Brahman, the supreme power, the consciousness, that is underlying every activity, everything in this universe. The ultimate discipline of the seer is to see everything as rooted in Brahman. In Vivekachudamani, there is one shloka which I thought that it will be quite nice to refer to that. It is shloka number 521 in Vivekachudamani by Shankaracharya. You know, Vivekachudamani is the last composition of Shankaracharya. He has written so many prakaranas. In everything, apart from writing the bhashyas, he has composed so many prakarana granthas, prakarana texts, in which he has explained about the self and Brahman in various ways. Also, he has written so many stutis and praises for the different gods and goddesses. So it's not that he's written only about the jnana. He has also expressed himself in devotion. And when devotion, in the pinnacle of devotion and jnana, they meet, there is no difference. That is why in Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Vadanti tat tattvavidaha tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. That the tattvavid, those who have known the tattva, the supreme reality, the universal self, they say, Vadanti, they say that this tattva is advayam jnanam. It is the knowledge of the supreme reality which is one without a second. It is the same everywhere. And they say that you may call it, this is the same. The knowledge is of the supreme reality which is only one. And You may call it Brahman, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, you may call it Paramatma, Bhagavan iti Shabdyate, or you can call it Bhagavan. This is how it has been described. So while telling about Shankaracharya, I was saying that it's not only that he has written only on Brahman, he has written so many stutis for the various deities. And who are the deities? It's all the same divinity. It's only the forms that we choose the forms, whosoever likes which form they worship, but they worship the same God. So in this shloka 521 of Vivekachudamani, Brahma pratyaya santatir jagadato brahmaiva tat sarvatah Pashyadhyatmadrisha prashanta manasa sarvasvavasthasvapi Rupadanyadavekshitam kimabhitaschakshushmatam drishyate tadvad brahmavidas satah kimaparam buddhir viharaspadam Brahma pratyaya santatir jagadato brahmaiva tat sarvatah Pashyadhyatmadrisha prashanta manasa sarvasvavasthasvapi Rupadanyadavekshitam kimabhitaschakshushmatam drishyate Tadvad brahmavidas satah kimaparam buddhir viharaspadam Tadvad brahmavida satah kimaparam buddhir viharaspadam. What does it say? It says that the universe is an unbroken series of perceptions of Brahman. Hence, it is in all respects nothing but Brahman. See this with the eye of illumination and a serene mind under all circumstances. This universe is a series of perceptions which is nothing but Brahman. And so, you must see that truth with an eye of illumination. That is, the intelligence should be sharp and dwell in that supreme truth. And the mind should be calm. If the mind is not calm, mind will be thinking of many other things, will not be able to perceive it and also realize it. In all circumstances, it is so. Then it says that is one who has eyes ever found to see all around anything else but forms? Those who have eyes, we all have eyes. When we look around, don't we see only forms? So, we who have eyes, the eyes who are given to seeing objects, we see only objects, various kinds of objects, that is various kinds of forms. Similarly, what is there except Brahman to engage the intellect of a man of realization? So a man who has realized, he understands that as the eyes, which has the power to see, it sees various kinds of objects. It doesn't see anything else. It sees objects only. Various names, various forms, various color, heights, and height will be different at various places. So eye here has that capacity. So when an intelligence has realization of the truth and is focused and is dwelling on that truth, that intelligence which is illumined understands that all the perceptions which we see in this universe, it is Brahman and Brahman alone. Because everything emerges from Brahman. though the forms are different. So, sarvasu avasthasu api, in all the three avasthas indeed, in all the three states, jagat brahma pratyaya santatihi. The universe is an unbroken series of perceptions of Brahman. Ataha, therefore, sarvataha tad brahma eva. Therefore, everywhere it is Brahman. Adhyatma drisha prashanta manasa pashya. Adhyatma drisha means see this with the eye of illumination, with the vision of illumination, with an illumined vision. What is illumined vision? It is not the vision of a common person. It is an illumined vision who understands that everywhere is that Advaya, one presence, the supreme presence, the one power, the one universal power. That illumination, when the intelligence has, dwelling on that illumination of the intelligence and prashanta manasa, mind should be very calm. Mind should be made to become calm by disciplines, so that one can understand and see Brahman and Brahman alone. Then it gives the example, I'm breaking and telling you, abhitaha avekshitam rupad anyat kim. Whatever is seen all around, what else is it but forms? When we look around, we see only forms. Chakshushmatam. For those who have eyes, for them, when we look around, it is only the forms. Tadvat sataha aparam kim buddhehe viharaspadam. Similarly, other than Brahman, what else can the intelligence of a realized man see or get engaged with, can dwell in? He only, when the realized person's intelligence is subtle, it is realized, it sees not the forms, various forms. It doesn't see forms of different nature. It sees the same Brahman everywhere, everywhere. And that is why it is also said in Aparokshanubhuti, again I go back to Aparokshanubhuti. It says, 116th sloka, Drishtim jnanamayim kritva pashyet brahmamayam jagat. Shankaracharya is saying there, after having explained how you realize the self, how you have that aparoksha anubhuti, realize you. And that realization is independent of anything. You realize it as your own self. And after that, what you do? Drishtim jnanamayim kritva. That is, with this illumined vision, you move about in this world, do everything. Pashyet brahmamayam jagat. But knowing and seeing or perceiving this jagat, the universe, as only enveloped by Brahman. So, Swamiji in his small talk, that day's little short talk, he has only referred to this. The ultimate discipline of the seer is to see everything as rooted in Brahman. His buddhi constantly dwells on the fundamental oneness underlying all plurality. How can anything non-spiritual come from him? So when one is realized, nothing is non-spiritual. That is why the disciplines are necessary. We started with, when the seekers start, or any common man, we consider only few hours of our day when we are worshipping or we are having our devotional and spiritual routines. We consider those moments to be spiritual and devotional. And rest of the time is our worldly time. But when a seer sees everything as Brahman, nothing is non-spiritual for him. Every moment becomes divinized. And that is what the Sadguru is telling us to attain. And is he telling us which cannot be attained? It can be attained, because many have attained it. In Vivekachudamani, the Guru is telling the Shishya who has come with a question that I am very fearful. I am feeling that as if I will die. I am being scorched by this worldliness of the world, as if I am being uprooted by a very strong wind and cyclone. I feel bhitaha, prapannaha, paripahi mrityoho. I feel I am going to die. So please give me shelter and rescue me from this feeling of mortality. Sharanya manya yadaham na jane. I do not know any other place to go to except you for feeling secure. I have come to you to feel secure at your feet. I have come to your feet to get the security which this whole world cannot give us. That is why people go to the Sadgurus. Sadguru, what will he do? Sadguru will give him the knowledge. Tattvam sadhu vibodhya tarayatitan samsara dukkharnavat. He tells him the tattva. What is the tattva? The tattva is you are the self. You are not the body. Because you are getting identified with the body, you are feeling you are mortal. But you are the immortal self. There is no change. You are eternal. So, learn to know that you are the self. Nothing can destroy you. Nothing can kill you. And remain steady in that knowledge. He says, Ma bhashta, no fear. You will not die. And there is a way to go across this worldliness of life, where people are constantly getting hit by happiness and unhappiness. More unhappiness, more fear, more anxiety than the little happiness that one gets. So he says that don't fear. Many people, just like you, have felt like this. They have gone to a Sadguru. You also have come to me. Hold my hand. I will take you across. So, the Sadguru tells how to make this world, while living here, absolutely spiritual, absolutely divinized. He says it because many have tread this path, have taken to the disciplines, have done their sadhana, and they have gone ahead and crossed the samsara dukkharnava, the worldly ocean. He gives him the knowledge. Then Swamiji is saying, see, he is talking about himself. He says, when I talk to villagers, I cannot talk to them at my level. You know, many villagers come here. Many help seekers come. Villagers come. I told you that these are the Prabhata Rashmis when we were in the old building. The old building was only the ground floor. No first floor, no second floor. We were all staying in the ground floor hut. It was a hut. So, naturally, there was a lot of interactions when help seekers would come, villagers would come. Even now there is. But when any villager would come, Swamiji is saying, when villagers come, I cannot talk to them at my level. Because Swamiji always speaks spirituality. He'll be talking about the self, the Brahman, how he can attain it. So he cannot be talking those things. They might have come to tell about their woes and sorrows, problems in the family or any other thing. So Swamiji is saying, when I talk to villagers, I cannot talk to them at my level. They come here for their purpose. Should I become inaccessible to them? Only because Swamiji is a spiritual person, he is saying that should I become inaccessible to them? They have come to me. They want some solace. They may not want to know what is this self or self-knowledge, but they have come to get some mental peace, to get some solution to their problems. So I cannot be inaccessible to them. Should I become inaccessible to them? Whatever be their purpose, it is for me to spiritualize the whole interaction. What is it? So Swamiji will be talking, listening to them, whatever they have to say. Maybe they will be talking about their family feuds or maybe financial difficulties or health difficulties. Whatever it is, Swamiji is not going to give them spiritual lesson to alleviate their sorrow or misery. But he talks to them in such a manner that the whole interaction is spiritual. The man who had come, he goes back with a feeling that he had come to a person, not an ordinary person who has given ordinary advice. He would give him the spiritual advice in his level. What is that? What is the spiritualization here? Swamiji would tell them, if they find that they are agitated, they are affected, he will tell them in such a manner how the mind should reconcile with any situation, or give them some advice. Will try to take away the difficulty of the mind of whoever comes to him. If devotees come to him, if seekers come to him, who have spiritual quest to know the self, as he would talk to them from the spiritual pedestal, even to villagers and help seekers who come, he talks from the spiritual pedestal, making the mind of that person feel consoled and strong and confident. So, Swamiji is saying that should I become inaccessible to them, whatever be their purpose, it is for me to spiritualize the whole interaction. I will not do anything which is not spiritual. It is not possible for me. See, that is why, it says, Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo Vasantavan Lokahitam Charantaha Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetunanyana Pitarayantaha. This is also from Vivekachudamani, 37th shloka, where a Sadguru has been described. A Sadguru has been described very nicely in 2 shlokas. One is this one, another I may take it. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantaha Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetunanyana Pitarayantaha. It says that there are good souls, talking about the Mahatmas, the Sadgurus, who are Shantaha, they are calm, and Mahantaha, they are magnanimous. Nivasanti Santaha. So there are some saintly people, the Mahatmas, the Sadgurus, who are very calm in nature and magnanimous in their qualities. Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantaha. They good to others as does the spring. They are always given to doing good to others. Their mind will be only thinking of welfare of the others. Whosoever comes, they will think that, oh, let me tell this person something so that his mind becomes worryless, anxietyless, fearless. Let him look happy. Here, many people sometimes come from whose faces, eyes, we can also understand that he's not happy, he's carrying some sorrow in the mind. And Swamiji tells them, see, before you leave the ashram, you should be smiling. And he talks to the person or just looks at the person. And it happens that within no time, the person's face becomes radiant. All the darkness from the face goes and he starts smiling. Why is it so? A Mahatma always wants others to be happy, others to be peaceful. This is what is their role in this world. And it has been compared with Vasanta Ritu, spring season. As in spring season, spring comes after winter. In winter, everybody has lot of difficulties, all the creatures. And they all look forward to spring coming. And when the spring comes, the trees had shed all their leaves during winter. Many of the creatures, they take shelter, many hibernate. And people also, human beings also are not able to do their work properly. So, when spring comes, there is a new life in the whole world. The trees, they start growing new leaves as if there is a festivity in the whole world. We feel very strong, we start feeling very energetic to do work. So many vegetables are available, so many fruits are available. It gives a new life to the whole world, giving festivity to the whole world. Similarly, these Mahanta, these good souls, the Mahatmas, they roam about, charantaha, they roam about in this world doing good to others. If people come to him or if he is traveling, whosoever he meets, he does good for them. And Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan. So, he himself has crossed the worldly ocean. He is a person, even a Mahatma has taken birth in this world. So, he had to face also the worldly waves. But he knew that if I go forward in my spiritual journey, I can cross this worldly miseries. And he has done that, as many others have done. So he knows how to cross this worldly ocean. Knowing that only, he feels compelled to tell everybody, to make everybody understand that if you take to certain disciplines, if you make your mind and intelligence calm and restrained, and you dwell upon that one presence of Brahman or the Self or God, then you will be able to cross the worldly miseries and the torments and turbulences, remaining in that oneness which he enjoys. So that becomes his compulsion for the whole world. And he starts doing it, bringing in happiness to everybody's life. And how does he do it? Ahetuna. My dear children, this one word should bring tears to the eyes. Ahetuna. Without any reason, without any motive, without expecting that if I do good to others, I will be praised, I will be respected, I will be given honor, my fame and name will spread everywhere. He doesn't want anything. He always says, I am nothing and I have nothing. He only feels that this whole world is his family. And the one blissfulness that he has enjoyed, he is enjoying, he has realized, he wants to spread only that into every human being. So it is ahetuna. Remember it. Why should we remember? When we learn about the Mahatmas, whatever quality they have, we should yearn to have those qualities. We should always be non-expectant. Whatever we do for others, for the family, for the friends, it should be non-expectant work. Don't expect anything from anybody. Without any motive. It should be such that we cannot but help others, serve others. Our nature should be such that we cannot remain without helping. And that we will be able to do when we feel oneness with others. Oneness with others. When we become non-blameful, non-fault-finding, and we have supreme love for everybody. Ahetuna nanyana pitarayantaha. So, without any motive whatsoever, he makes others also cross this ocean, worldly ocean. Such wholesome spiritualization can be accomplished by living in the proximity of saints or Guru. In Guru Sannidhi, the whole atmosphere is spiritual. Whatever is done in the ashram is an extension of spirituality. Don't think that Guru Seva means doing only some personal service to the Guru. Any work related to the ashram is Guru Seva. A service primarily meant to purify the seeker. Actually, Guru doesn't need any seva. Whether seva for his personal needs, looking after him, cooking for him, or looking after the ashram, or doing work for his mission. He doesn't want anything. If we get a chance to do some work, we should feel blessed because all these opportunities come to us for purifying ourselves. It is for the purification process of those who do the seva. So whatever we do, that is why the other day I was saying that every day after the satsang, you stack the chairs. It is not just stacking the chair. My dear children, even that simple act of keeping the chairs properly in a stack, think that I am so blessed to be doing this service. One may not be able to do much of hard work, much of heavy work, or maybe some important work in the office here. But even the smallest thing, when we do here, suppose something has fallen, you pick it up and keep it. Feel that it is an opportunity for me to feel blessed that I have done some service. And this attitude can be taken home. At home also do every work thinking that my Guru has given me all these things to be done. He is keeping me in the home. And whatever situation in the home, it is only given by him and God. So I will do everything with lot of happiness, feeling that I am doing service to him through all the family members, whatever I am doing. So such wholesome spiritualization can be accomplished by living in the proximity of saints or Guru. In Guru Sannidhi, the whole atmosphere is spiritual. Whatever is done in the ashram is an extension of spirituality. It is so. And this extension of spirituality, many of you who come and go to the ashram from your homes, you can take it home. Even remaining in the ashram, if this attitude is not there, while the ashramites are doing work, it will not purify them. You know, once we had gone to Haridwar, Rishikesh, a very revered, respected saint of those days, in the early 80s of Kailash Ashram, he used to tell that purification must be done. You must be introspective and see what are the qualities you must strengthen and what you should be removed. He said, otherwise it is like in the Ganges, the Ganga is flowing in Haridwar. In the Ganges, so many stones are there. They remain immersed in the holy water for ages. But patthar hi reh jate hain. The stones remain stones only, because they are not trying to purifying them. So this is an example. Remaining in the ashram, remaining in the Guru Sannidhi, if we do not be attentive, focused, and have an yearning that through every work, I'll be only connected to the thought that I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, that I am at the feet of my Guru. And whatever he is saying is, I am connected to that supreme power, who is in the form of my Guru now. If we do not think like this while we are here, then even in the ashram we will not gain any purity. It may be cleaning vessels. So he is saying this about seva. It may be cleaning vessels, fixing stamps, going to the town for bringing the required items, or any other activity you are asked to do, either by me or Ma or Nutun Swamiji. As you do the allotted work, think, am I doing it cheerfully? Is this being offered by me as a worship to my Gurudev? So whatever work we do, we should think, am I doing it cheerfully? Or just as a piece of work I have done. And this has to be done, so I have done it, finished, and now let me go. Or have I done it cheerfully with a feeling of blessedness, a feeling of divinity, that I have been given this opportunity? And also, has it been a worship, a feeling of worship? Like when we actually sit before an idol and do puja, we feel that we have done worship. Has my mind felt like that, doing any work? When Swamiji has taken some examples, cleaning vessels. In the ashram, everybody has to wash at least their own plates and glasses and bowls. Even while cleaning them, clean it well, and think that suppose I was given the charge of cleaning the puja vessels, how my mind would feel. I will do it this way. So have I done it cheerfully? Have I done it hurriedly and just escaped? Or have I given my full mind into that divinity? And my dear children, this is not in the ashram alone. Everything in the house, in the office, every work can be made divine just by the change of outlook. If you introspect in this manner, very soon you will find a fondness growing in your mind, a fondness and love for your Guru, as well as the other ashramites and everybody else. That fondness will steadily make you more and more pure and sublime. Everything you do will become spiritual and sublime. Finally, the very idea that something is non-spiritual will drop off from the mind. That is the last and the final discipline. When we consciously keep our mind engaged and feel the divinity underneath everything, then slowly this distinction between spiritual and non-spiritual will drop off. Everything will have such love you will feel in your heart for everything. You will feel that where to keep this love. And, my dear children, it is a habit that has to be made. For long years, we have never known about this, so we are habituated to think of other things. Now we have to make a habit, take to a different discipline. The discipline which Swamiji is talking about, what is the discipline? All these years, we have simply spent our days allowing the mind and intelligence to be focused on not divinity, but worldly things. We never knew that even the worldly things, everything is smeared with divinity. Beneath everything is divinity. Now knowing it, we have to take to a different discipline. And with practice, constantly reminding, and making it a habit, slowly one becomes one with purity, when the differentiation between spiritual and non-spiritual will drop off. And that day becomes like this. Brahma pratyaya santatir jagadato brahmaiva tat sarvataha. You'll find that you are doing everything, but you are not falling from that knowledge that I am the self, I am Brahman. Okay? Brahma pratyaya santatir jagadato brahmaiva tat sarvataha pashyadhyatma drisha prashanta manasa sarvasvavasthasvapi रूपादन्यदपेक्षितं किमभितश्चक्षुष्मतां दृश्यते तद्वद्ब्रह्मविदः सतः किमपरं बुद्धेर्विहारास्पदं तद्वद्ब्रह्मविदः सतः किमपरं बुद्धेर्विहारास्पदं. जय गुरु, जय गुरु.